Hello, folks. My name is Zach, and I'm joined today by Dina, aka
Hello.
Dina the Soul Steeper. Um, Dina and I have been playing Magic for a while now. I got Dina into Magic, I believe. When was your birthday last year? August?
It was almost a year ago. Yeah, my birthday's coming up in May.
Oh, May. It was May.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can't remember. I don't even remember when you're. It's to show you how good of a friend I am. Anyway,
No, it
but
was a great birthday gift, though. I have to admit, that was perfect. So,
yeah, so the whole reason Dina got into Magic was there was a card named Dina the Soul Steeper, and I made Dina a Dina deck, and Dina got very much into Magic, and now she is at her 1 year anniversary essentially of playing Magic,
yeah,
and I
almost.
believe I can't believe it's already been a year.
I feel
I
like I didn't start playing till November, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
yeah, I guess you didn't really start. I mean, you had the cards though.
that's true.
Okay, so you're like, let's say you're 6 months in. Okay,
Sure.
Okay, so you're about a half a year playing Magic now.
Yeah.
I'm about year five. I started in Kaladesh, specifically Aether Revolt, which was the second when they used to do block sets. Was before your time. And before block sets, they used to do 3-part block sets. This was back when they were doing 2-part block sets. So that's a whole different story. They don't do that anymore. And now they cram all the story into one single block. And it's a little bit weird now, but I still enjoy the stories. What we are doing today is the new school versus old school view of our favorite cards of New Cappena. These are not the best cards. These are not competitive cards. These are interesting, fun cards that Dina and I are both looking forward to playing in Commander and Standard and Historic. Dina plays Arena. I play Arena. We kick each other's butts on Arena, and she's become a much better player since she started playing on Arena. I think she understands the stack way better now that she's
Yeah.
playing Arena. And because of this, we decided let's do a video saying what our favorite cards are from the set. I have my top 5. Dina has her top 5. I melded that list. We now have a top 10. And I have a couple honorable mentions because I don't think there's a single video of people who do top 10s on the internet without honorable mentions with cards, Magic Gathering cards anymore. So I figure why not throw in honorable mentions because we could be weird like that. Anyway, let's go on. Dina, our first set of cards we have are, and for some reason it's not going. Okay, there we go. Honorable mentions. These are the Tri-Fetchlands from the set. Dina, how do you feel about Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wilds in your deck?
Okay, so I will tell you that I am still, even though I'm like 6 months in and maybe a month in on Arena, I'm still rather clueless regarding cards. But what I do look at is imagery immediately and then the story that it tells. So immediately, I feel like all of these cards are so gorgeous. And playing Dina the Soul Steeper, a majority of them look like you gain life. So it's a positive to have in my Dina the Soul Steeper deck.
Especially for forests and swamps. Any one of those that says forest and swamp on it, I figure you pick up a copy of that. I know for a fact you got the Jund one, which is red, green, and black. So you're going to be able to mana fix for both your colors in Dina's. Yeah, so this kind of synergizes and mana fixes in your deck. I know Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wilds do that, but they're not as good as these. I think in Dina, these are just a strictly better card for you. Wouldn't you say?
I
Yeah.
completely agree.
I gotta riff on these just a little bit. I love when Wizards of the Coast prints a slightly better version of an already crappy card that they have. And when Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse are unanimous for Fetchlands in terms of budget mana fixing, and then they print cards like this specifically with life gain on it that fire off right away, I am thrilled. I love cards like this. On that note, we have a second honorable mention. These are the rings, the plazas, the districts, the stations, the towers. These are the ally color gates, but they draw you a card if you have 4 mana to spend on them. It's a guild gate. that draws you a card late game. I love this. Tina, what have you learned about card draw in your 6 months of playing?
Oh my gosh, that it's incredibly important. I feel like
Yes.
so many times I'm down to no cards or one card. I'm like, I really could use some card draw.
I completely agree. I think these are very good in the ally colors. I hope they do the enemy colors soon. So we have access to all 10. I love these cards. Again, small upgrades on crappy cards that everybody already plays. I love cards like this. That being said, we have our honorable mentions out of the way. Let's get into the list. Dina, what are we starting with?
Darling of the masses.
Why do you like this card?
So like I mentioned before, the first thing that I look at is the imagery and what kind of story that it's telling. And majority of the cards that I picked are quite elegant and kind of fancy, to say the least. It looks like maybe old Hollywood or something of the sort. So that's what drew me to this first card. And I don't know, the
I'm
pump
picking
that
up.
gives the creatures, I think it's really great. And I'm a sucker for tokens. So
What's her name? What's her name from Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn. Yes, thank you. I'm getting Audrey Hepburn vibes from this. I completely understand. This is a 1920s theme set, mobster set. I completely understand why you love this card. She looks fly on her panther. It's also actually a decent card. Believe it or not, Nina, when you set this card to me for the list, I was looking at this and I'm like, this is not a bad card. It's an elf. You know what really likes elves and tokens? There's this guy named Reese the Redeemed. He is actually a 1-mana commander. He's not bad. She will slot into this deck very, very well. But I think I know why you chose this also. Then that's going to come up later in the list. You chose this for that deck, didn't you?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, okay. I figured that out. Yeah, I get it. This is a great card, especially for pumping your citizens and making tokens. Getting very aggro, you're low to the ground, you're going wide. Yeah, I can see why you like this. This is a really good card for, a go wide token strategy. All right, let's get into my first card. Slip out the back. I am a guy who likes to play on the stack. I like instant speed responses, and I like things that are versatile. Dina, what's more annoying than me bouncing your creature?
More annoying than you bouncing my creature?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I would say phasing it out for a turn.
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna go back to your command zone if I phase it out. This reminds me of Unsummon, and then there's Fading Hope. These two cards are 1-mana bounce spells. You can send your commander back to your hand or the command zone. It's whatever you want. It's a good removal spell, but you know what else it does? It does Teferi's Protection stuff for 27 cents. Teferi's Protection's a $50 card and costs 3 mana. This will do Teferi's Protection stuff for 1 mana. Pump your creature and protect it. I like this. I like being able to use this as a removal spell or as a protection piece on my commander. I like stuff that does 2 things on 1 line of text, and that's exactly what this does. It does 2 things on 1 line of text. It's versatile. You'll kind of see that with my cards, Dina. My cards do not 1 thing, but kind of like 2 things, and it does it weird if you look at it. So if you look at the card just at face value, it's okay. But if you look at it sideways, you go, oh, it also does that. Now I understand why Zach likes the card. So I love this card. 27 cents, does 1/3 of Teferi's Protection for 1/100th of the price. I'll take it. No, 1/400th of the price. I'll take this any day over Teferi's Protection. Okay. Let's go on to your next card.
All right.
Nina, what do we have here?
Oh my gosh, the Social Climber. Not only is this is giving me like pop art sort of art, but it also I think would really go well in my Dina deck.
What does it remind you of?
It reminds me of the innkeeper. There he is, prosperous innkeeper. It
Yeah.
was almost the exact same thing, or
Yeah.
actually does do the exact same thing.
Yeah, he just doesn't create the treasure, but
Right.
I'm totally with you on this. This is a common that is basically doing the exact same thing. It's a bigger body. I like it. You want to put this in your what deck?
My Dina the Soul Steeper deck.
Oh, never heard the Dina playing Dina. Oh, Dina, I don't like that art. Let's fix that. There we go. All right, we fixed the art.
Much
Right.
better.
Much better now that we have the correct art on that card. Yeah, no, 100%. I think this goes in your Dina deck. It does everything you want your Dina to do. You are going to add a couple cards soon, and I'm sure it is going to synergize great with this. This is like chef's kiss to your steeping ways. Just saying. Fantastic piece for your deck. I completely agree. You're going to notice that we're very biased to our own kinds of decks. I have a lot of, yes, Dina has a lot of green and black. She has a lot of green. I have a lot of Grixis colors. I do have one white card on my list, Dina. I can't believe I'm saying that. I have no white decks that I play.
I was going to say, when you said earlier that you wanted to create an all-white deck, I was surprised. I was like, this is so strange.
I have a white deck. I have a white deck. I finally want to build Dina, and we're going to get to it later, but this is kind of odd. All right, let's go to the next one. This is my pick. Remember when I said if you look sideways, you kind of get two things? This is kind of what's happening with these two cards. Since this is my list, I put these two together. Remember what we said about card advantage, Dina? Why is card advantage so important? There you
have
go.
more to play with. You have more to work with.
Exactly. Now, what I love about this, specifically, you have two different flavors of this. This is two different flavors of draw two cards for 2 mana. On the right, you have Rob the Archives. On the left, you have Tainan Indulgence. I'm going to explain to you why both of these cards are great forms of card advantage. Rob the Archives. This isn't 2 mana draw 2. This is 2 mana draw 4 if you play it right. And in red, that's insane for 2 mana to draw 4 cards. Yeah, you have to sacrifice a 1 mana something or one creature, but then you get 4 cards off the top of your library for 2. And we already play stuff like Village Rites and, Light Up the Stage and stuff like that for 1 mana. So why not have something similar? This reminds me of this card called Reckless Impulse. So Dina, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Innistrad came out as you were just getting into Magic. That's the Vampire and Werewolf set. There was 2 sets of them, kind of like that 2-block format that I was explaining earlier. So Reckless Impulse flew under the radar in terms of like playable cards. This is a better version of that, in my opinion. This is Reckless Impulse. Yeah, you can't play the cards until the next turn. The next turn, like you can with Reckless Impulse or Light Up the Stage, but you have the potential of drawing 4 cards for 2 mana, which is almost like insane. That's like unheard of in Magic right now. Yeah, you have to play them this turn, but if you do this, early turns, you got 2 cards. Do this late turns, you have 4 cards. This is insane. This is a really good draw spell. All right. Then we're going to get to Tainan Indulgence. Tainan Indulgence is just again, very good. This is just going to be 2 mana draw 2 at instant speed in blue and black, which are colors that love to do this kind of thing. And then if you have 5 mana value worth of stuff in your graveyard, you get to keep those 2 cards instead of having to discard a card. Charter Course is already a playable card in Modern, Dina. I put this in a lot of my blue decks. I think I gave you a copy for your Talran deck, if I recall.
I think going through it, I remember this card.
Yeah, this is a good card. This is a very playable card right now. You're not going to get much better than this. Faithless Looting Effects. people like to discard cards. There are certain decks that thrive off of discarding cards. Depending on how you're building your deck, you either want to discard or keep those cards. This is just 2 mana, draw 2, instant speed. I love stuff like this. Look at both of those. Look at my 2 examples, Dina. Those are both sorcery speed. This is instant speed. This is a strictly better card, I think, in most ways. And then 5 mana value worth of cards, I think that's really easy to get in your graveyard if you're doing a discard deck. I think it's really easy to get in a commander game. Board wipes, removal. What do you think?
Wait, say that again.
with board wipes and removal, I think it's really easy to get 5 mana value in your graveyard and keep those cards in your hand instead of having.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, easy. Yeah. All right. Let's go on to our next one. Jax the Troublemaker. Why do you like this card?
I don't know, just like such a badass to begin with. Like, love the suspenders.
I'll tell you right now, Mandy's putting this in her lesbian tribal deck.
It's a great card.
It's a really good card. This is one of the cards that was actually on my list. When I saw you pick this, I'm like, Dina's not just picking good cards now. She's actually trying to, like, she's starting to see good synergies. I can see this in my Zada deck. I can see this in my my CDH deck. I could see this in a whole bunch of decks. What do you plan on doing with this?
Oh, I hadn't figured it out yet. I just liked that you could, like pump up the creatures, essentially you doubling what you have. And I think that was just perfection. Yeah.
I mean, I like the discard clause. I like the blitz clause. I mean, essentially you're giving all your cards blitz for 1. So you get to create a token copy, and then when it dies, you get to draw a card. There's a card that's like this. It's actually a crappy card like this that people don't like to play. It's called a Rummaging Goblin. This is an awful card. This is a better version of that card because you get that token at the end of the day. There's this other card called Spark Elemental it reminded me of. You have to sacrifice it at the end of the turn. So essentially for 4 mana, you melded Spark Elemental and Rummaging Goblin into 1 card, and it's actually a good card now. I don't understand.
Like you're getting
that.
more for your buck in that
yeah,
one.
I did. It's the same mana value, but it does it better. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I just, when you showed me this, I was just like, oh, Dina's starting to see the way of red. This is a great card. I really do. I was impressed when you picked this and sent this to me. I was like, oh,
thank you.
Yes, we have both versions for you, by the way.
Thank you. I was gonna say that I didn't see this art before. This art is really cool.
Yeah, that's the promo version. And again, our friend Mandy got you a copy of both. The one you paid for, and then the other version. That was a surprise. Mandy. I ruined it. I'm sorry. All right. Let's go on to my next pick. Sticky Fingers. I hate auras. This is an aura that I like. It's 1 mana and it does a whole lot for 1 mana. It's Aruna speed and it's a Wily Goblin all in one. It makes you a treasure when you hit somebody, and then you draw a card when it dies. It does 4 mana worth of stuff for 1 mana.
It's a lot that it's doing. I mean,
yeah, I like this card. I don't like auras, and I like this card. I don't know what else to say. Like, menace. So you're probably going to hit somebody because somebody's going to have to block with how many creatures does menace? 2. No, see, she knows. She knows keywords. She knows keywords. She knows.
Menace has been my favorite recently. It's been so fun to play.
It's a form of evasion, and people don't talk about it that much. Menace is super good at getting in damage. When an enchanted creature dies, draw a card. Okay. You don't get the card right away, but you're going to get that card. Like, people are not going to let you keep hitting them for treasure. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put this in something. I'll figure it out. This is a good card. I can't say much. It does 4 mana worth of stuff for 1 mana. I'm going to keep saying that. All right. Dina, I think we have your next card.
Mm.
Who is this?
Security rocks.
I think that's how you say it.
I hope so. Another like very glamorous, looks like they're at a premiere, very old Hollywood. Yeah, it's just, and it just like a big bad guy that you can punch some people with.
Yeah. I completely agree. Our friend Kevin got into Magic around the time where there was this combo on turn 2, and this kind of reminded me of that in these exact same colors. You may pay red and green rather than pay this spell's mana cost, only spend treasures to cast this way. This reminded me of that card. So, Dina, way back when, before even I was playing Magic, and Kevin did this to me because he still had the deck together, and it is gross. What would happen is on turn 2, you would have a red and green, and then you play something called Burning Tree Emissary. And what Burning Tree Emissary does is it creates another red and green, which then you can then play another Burning Tree Emissary, and then it creates another red and green, and then you could play another Burning Tree Emissary. So on turn 2, you have 6 power on the battlefield for 2 mana.
It's insane.
Yeah, this was gross. Kevin did this to me once, and I cried all the way home. No, but this was a thing, and this reminds me of that. It's not quite the same, but it's got that same flavor. For 2 mana, you can have 5 power on the board. Worst case scenario, you have a above curve 5/4 for 4 mana. I think that's great. That's a pretty good, it's not vanilla, but there's upside if you're playing treasure thing. And it reminded me hardcore of the Burning Tree Emissary tree.
The way I'm like rereading this now, why would anyone pay 4 for this card?
They wouldn't. That's the whole point.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. That's why it gave me that same flavor as the Burning Tree Emissary. Yeah. Click, click, click into each other. Yeah, you picked a good card here. I don't know if this is commander playable, but I could see this going off in standard as a solid beater. All right, I'm going to go the next card. All right, remember I said I actually have a white card that I bought and I want to build a deck around?
Yes.
All right, meet her. Her name is Giada. Now her story is she's the source of all the Halo on New Cappena, and that's what everyone's smoking and drinking, and I don't know. She's an angel. She's cool. I've been looking for an angel commander. I've been like wanting to build one for a while. Here she is. She does everything I want an angel commander to do. She pumps my angels. She's a mana dork for angels. And just because she's an angel, like all other angels, she has flying and vigilance. So I finally have an angel commander that I want to play. Okay.
She's very lovely.
And she's
2 mana. You can't beat that, especially with an angel.
Oh my God. 2 mana angels are like so hard to find. There's like maybe 10 in existence, and 4 of them are unplayable. Legitimately, and then the other 4 are not very good, or 6 are not that good. You play them because they're 2 mana. In this deck, you could put this girl in a Lyra deck. If you're doing just Lyra angels, when Lyra attacks, she puts a bunch of angels, demons, or dragons onto the battlefield. So you could build it all 3, or you could just build angel tribal with her, and you could have access to all the red, white, and black angels, which there are actually red, white, and black angels now of almost every single color. I think there are very few. There are not a lot of angels in blue, and there are not a lot of angels in green, but there are some. There are a couple. There's angels in a lot of colors, but she is awesome. I love monocolor decks. I have not found a reason to build a mono white deck, and I finally have a reason to build one. I feel good. All right, let's go on to, All right, we were talking about this earlier. Was that Darling of the Masses you were talking
Yes.
about?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the reason why you liked Darling of the Masses?
Oh, I liked her separately, but then when I saw her, I was like, they would be great together.
Yes, they look like they're best of friends.
Oh, absolutely.
Ginny Faye, Jet Mirror's second. Tell me about this, Nina.
So, as you mentioned earlier, you went to the shop today and bought me some of the cards that I sent you.
Yeah.
And after you said I was building a commander deck and I didn't even realize it, I started playing on Arena with this, and she's actually quite fun to play, just pumping out cats and dogs like crazy, just having a bunch of blockers and great, tokens to throw some punches. So it was quite fun. It's one of those what do you call them? It's like the squirrels or
Go wide.
like, yeah.
Go wide. So when you go wide, you have a bunch of tokens. When you go tall, you're having one big creature. So you're going wide on this. I completely agree. This is a go wide strategy. I think Darling of the Masses slots into this 100%. When you sent me that list earlier, I was going, yeah, 100%. Like, here's your commander, Dina. You're just picking all the cards for your commander deck already. And yeah, you could spend like days going through the cat and dog synergies. I'm going to give you a couple suggestions right here.
Okay.
Here's her alternate art. I think she looks fly in that. Anyway, Rin and Siri. This was the last dog and cat commander that came out. Rin and Siri's cool, and that 100% goes into your Ginny Faye deck, or it could be the commander, or it could be either way. I think these are inseparable from going wise strategies. You're going to want to make a lot of dog tokens. You're going to want to make a lot of cat tokens, and then you can just make tokens. You don't have to even make dog or cat tokens. If you notice the wording on that, Dina, read that really carefully.
No, I know when I was playing it earlier, I had blood tokens, I had angel tokens, maybe not angels, they're bigger than the cats and dogs, but I didn't know about these cards that you suggested because I don't have them currently on Arena. So these are good to find out and maybe craft some of those.
Oh my God, these would be insane in Arena. These would be insane in paper. This is tribal build. You can build it however.
That was the word I was looking for earlier.
Yes, tribal build. You can go dog cat tribal. There are a lot of good cards for dog cat tribal. Now there were not early on. There are some very interesting dog cat synergies now. You have Rin and Siri, that could be your secret commander, as they like to say. There are some interesting synergies these cards have with each other. You can go treasure tribal, and then incidentally you're just pumping out dogs and cats because of that. It makes no sense to me, but okay, sure. Why not have both? Anyway, I love this card. This is a very cool commander. I think you are going to have a lot of fun building this deck once you actually do get your physical cards. All right, Dina, we're coming up on my favorite card, and we are there, top of the list. My favorite card. Dina, do I like counterspells?
Do you like counterspells?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Do I like to ramp?
Oh, absolutely.
I found the greatest card in the world.
Let's see.
An offer you can't refuse. I saw this card and I wept openly at how good this card is. I think this is one of the best cards they've printed in a long time. I mean, like, this is a 1-mana counterspell. Or if you look at it the way I do, it's a 1-mana ramp spell if you play this correctly. I'm going to teach you about the stack right now. There's something called maintaining priority. I cast a spell. Let's say I have an unsummoned something awful in hand that I want to get rid of. I can maintain priority and counter my own spell.
Oh, interesting.
And now I have 2 treasures with that. This is a ridiculous card. This card is like literally, I'm in tears at how cool this card is. I bought 8 copies of this card.
Oh my god.
That's how much I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards they've printed in such a long time. I loved Wash Away. They printed Wash Away during the Innistrad set. Wash Away was just a 3-mana counter spell with upside for countering stuff that was not cast from your hand. So you could counter stuff for 1 mana. In Commander, that was insane. Like, I've countered people's stuff for 1 mana coming out of the command zone. This doesn't hit commanders, but this hits negate stuff. I play negate in all my blue decks, like every single one. That's a 5-cent counter spell. This is a better version of it in my way. I was literally showing this to people at the shop. I'm like, this is my favorite card from the set. I pull it out and I show it. It's like, oh, you're to be countering your own stuff with this. And I go, 100% I'm using this to counter my own stuff just for the ramp. Just for the
crazy
ramp.
how you like think that way. I take this spell and I take it so straightforward. I don't really see it.
It's a negate.
So
No, I'm thinking I'm going to counter my own stuff, and then worst case scenario, somebody has like some awful ending non-creature card they're about to play. I also have a 1-mana counter spell to this, like a Swan Song or something like this. But I love this card. This is an insanely good card. This reminded me of High Tide, which is like a ramp spell in blue, which is gross. And then it's a negate for 1 less, and then you kind of get the Arcane Denial political aspect to it if you use it as a negate. So you're not giving your opponent all the feel bads. So with Arcane Denial, they get to draw 2 cards and you get to draw 1 card. This is kind of the same thing. They get 2 treasures and you don't get to die for 1 mana. I think this is the best card they've printed in the set. Like, no joke. Like, I cannot stress how much I love this card, and I can't wait. I'm literally going to put this in every single blue deck I have right now, and you just understand how connivingly stupid my logic is. Like, I'm not playing this as a counter. I'm playing this as a ramp piece that happens to counter stuff when I need it to. I love this. I love this card. This is such a stupid card. I love it. It does everything that Zach wants to do in a stupid commander game. I love it. I want to play every copy of this that I can. That's it. I can't stress. I'm telling you, I bought 8 copies. I'm not kidding. I bought 8 copies of this card. That's how serious I am about this card. All right. By far my favorite card from the set. You can't even explain. I love counter spells like this. All right. Dina, where can the people find you?
Oh, I am on TikTok and Instagram mostly at dancing_Dina, or maybe even Dancing Dina. And then I'm also on Twitter, but I'm never on Twitter. So
yeah, but TikTok, if you guys like swing dancing, I suggest you follow Dina on TikTok. She has fun little dance routines she does. I enjoy Dina and I actually met each other swing dancing. Yeah. And we were friends for like 3 years before I got her into Magic. I gave her a Magic deck like 2 years ago. She never played with it. But when I gave her the Dina deck, all of a sudden she got into it. It was kind of funny. If y'all love this video, we will happily bring you another one if y'all like it. There was commander cards. There were 5 commander decks. Dina, would you be willing to do that with me and review those cards?
Yeah.
I had a feeling you would. Those cards are a whole nother bunch because there are mechanics on them that are not in the main set proper. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe. Let us know if you want a commander version of this strictly just the commander decks. My name is Zach. That's Dina the Soul Steeper, but also
Dancing Dina
on TikTok and Instagram. Hope you enjoy the video, and we'll see you guys next time.